What's up guys, this is I Reis and welcome to a special video. It's going to be a longer one, so feel free to pause the video, get comfortable, grab a snack. I'm going to be taking you through my Silph 2021 North American Continentals run. If you're not familiar with Silph, basically a competitive format of Pokemon Go PvP. Show 6, pick 3, kind of like in the main series anime. So a lot more strategy involved with team building, team composition, and stuff like that. So this is the Silph North American Continentals. In order to qualify for this, you had to win your regional at the end of the season, which I was able to do, or you also had to have a high enough global ranking. And since I was ranked number 9, and I'm not sure where the cutoff was, I honestly don't know if it was like 50 or if it was like 200, but I had a high enough global ranking where I was going to be able to qualify even had I not won my regional. And we're getting straight into these battles. It's going to be 7 rounds. I'm going to take you through most of them. And it's best 2 out of 3 for each round. And we're going to see how we can do. The winner, the top 8 finishers out of about 128 participants will get a spot at the North American Continental Finals. And then the winner of that gets basically a bye to like the final 8 at the World Championship. So I know that's a lot I just said. I'm sure some of you already know about it. Some of you probably weren't able to follow all that in that short amount of time. So link in the description to silph.com or silph.gg, and you can check out some of the details there. But it's an interesting meta. It's basically this Continentals meta was open Great League, but it was a point system. So you had a maximum of 20 points to build your team. Certain Pokemon like Azumarill and G-Fisk were 10 points, like the really hard hitters. And then you've got Pokemon where 6 points, 4 points, and then 1 point. So basically my team, I tried to get multiple 6 and 4 pointers in there. So Galvantula was a 6-pointer. And then Whiscash, Snorlax, and Obstagoon were all 4-pointers. And Crobat and Bronzong were 1-pointers. So Shadow Crobat, I thought it was a kind of a spicy pick for my 1-pointer versus using Golbat, which was like a 4-pointer, I think. And also the Pokemon had to be divided by each region. So you see my slots 1 through 6 are regions 1 through 6, like Kanto, Sinnoh, Hoenn, and so forth. So yeah, a lot of explanation there. I would have explained everything before the battles started, but the video is already super long as it is. So you see we get a win there in game 1 against J Beach in the first round. And we're up 1-0 in this best of 3 going into the next one. And if I take a quick look at his team, I notice he doesn't have any counter user. And believe it or not, I was the only person in this entire tournament out of like 128 people that used Snorlax as my Kanto pick. Most people used Kanto Ninetales as a fire type, or some people use Shadow Dragonite was a great pick because that was only a 1-pointer. But I noticed in some of my practice tournaments that a lot of people didn't bother bringing a counter user. So that's why I went with the double normal, the Obstagoon Snorlax, because a lot of people also were bringing Bronzong. And I wanted to make sure I had several answers to Bronzong. J Beach makes an interesting swap here. Swaps in his Drifbloom, knowing that he's already gotten my Snorlax into Icy Wind range, and I don't have any charge moves to threaten this Drifbloom, but I am able to get some chip damage off with these Body Slams. Also, if I look at his team, the Seismitoad and the Dragonair are really the only things that threaten my Galvantula. Obviously, I'm going to come in here with the Obstagoon since the Drifbloom has loaded energy, so I only have to worry about Icy Wind. I take the Icy Wind, I quick swap, and I farm it down before he's able to switch out. And we're waiting to see what is going to be in back. It is the Dragonair, which is not a good matchup at all for Galv, but because we have this energy head start, we should be able to hold our own still. I'm expecting a catch here, but I still kind of want to throw it anyway because... Oh, and it actually doesn't KO. And it's going to let me get a farm here, which is good. So I undercharged it knowing that I was going to have to throw a lunge anyway at the Quilladin if he swapped it, that's why I didn't really wait to see if he was going to catch, because it wasn't like I was going to be able to farm that thing down anyway. But then I switch into the Goon. Night Slash coming through. Oh man, it's going to be close. I think he might have 2 Aqua Tails at this point. I'm not sure. Get to another Night Slash. Oh, I snuck in the counter. I snuck in the counter. Can I live this Aqua Tail? I have the Night Slash. And I tap it. So, a pretty crazy game 2 there against J Beach. If I don't sneak in that counter, I think I lose that game. So that's how close a lot of these games are and how low the margin for error is. So we're 1-0. And now we're going up against Jay Mills in round 2, who I'm sure a lot of you know, a streamer and just a phenomenal battler. He recently beat Dunebug during GoFest during a in-person tournament in New York City, and he was able to win that New York City invitational tournament. So I knew Jay Mills was going to be a really tough opponent going into this. He's got a G-Fisk on his team, which kind of gives me some issues with Galv and Bronzong and Crobat. And then he's also got Hitmontop. So when they do have a counter user, it does give me a little bit of problems since I'm double weak to counter. And it kind of takes away that Snorlax safe swap that I really liked to use during this tournament. Snorlax versus Tropius. This is a favorable matchup for Tropius, I believe, just because it's bulkier. And then Air Slash probably does a little bit more damage than the Licks overall. I do get a shield, which is nice. I'm deciding what I want to do here. I elect to let it go. I'm hoping I can get to another Body Slam, and I do. So that's actually really nice. This is not going to KO the Tropius, but it's going to make it easier to get rid of it. I'm obviously going to come in with Bronzong to absorb this damage. Take the Leaf Blade. Doesn't do that much. I'm getting ready to switch right away, and check this out. I switch right away because I was expecting the G-Fisk. So I blind swap, and now I've got Whiscash against the Dragonair. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is horrible. So that is a huge misplay by me. But I am able to get the shield. And now I'm going for the Blizzard. I'm expecting him to try and catch, so that's why I overfarmed a little bit. And now I go for the Blizzard because Mud Bomb wouldn't be enough to KO from there. Overfarming a little bit just to try and throw off his counting if I can. I get off another Mud Bomb here, which is actually pretty huge because this will put him into like Psyshock range, and we CMP tie. So that's like best case scenario. It's an Earthquake. And now I just need 2 Confusions to get there. And I think I got there like just in time. I think that Mud Shot that he snuck through was going to get him to the Earthquake. So extremely close game 1 against Jay Mills. We made a huge mistake that almost cost us the game, but fortunately, because we were able to bait and then CMP with the Mud Bomb and EQ, we were still able to somehow sneak away with the win. But you could argue we didn't really even deserve to win that game. Whiscash versus Stunfisk, great lead. In comes Trope. In comes Bronzong. And you would think this is a pretty dominant matchup for Bronzong, right? But you're going to see that Tropius is such a beast. It ends up not being the most comfortable matchup in the world. I'm throwing after 2 Confusions, right? Because that's 8 turns for 2 Confusions versus 9 turns would be from 3 Air Slashes. So I'm trying to minimize the amount of free energy my opponent's getting. And check this out. Like, look how well Tropius is doing here. But I'm not going to shield. I don't think it's worth it. So I'm actually going to Psyshock here. And this will give minimal farm to my opponent. And then check this out. There's a freaking Hitmontop that gets a 1 counter head start. And now I'm like, oh, snap, crackle, pop. This is bad. Because now he knows that I'm weak to this in back, and he's going to preserve his Hitmontop. My saving grace right now is that Hitmontop, I really needed to see him oh, okay. He's staying in, so he has to shield this. But he's going to get off another one before I get to my move, which is pretty terrible for me. In comes the Fisk. And I'm just thinking, how the heck do I get out of this? I'm going to try and catch the EQ. He snuck in a mud shot there. I know I need to try and catch the EQ at this point. And I'm not really sure what happened there, because from my perspective, it looked like I caught, but obviously I didn't, so I'm not really sure what happened there. That was kind of frustrating to me. Because, yeah, and I mentioned it seemed like there was a little bit of stutter lag when I messaged Jay Mills after the game, because it looked to me like I caught, but he said that he stopped tapping and waited for me to throw a fast move, which I'm sure he probably did. But if that was the case, it didn't look like I snuck in any mud shots, right? It was like, I don't know. It was like he stopped. I don't know. It was just kind of sketchy. But anyways, extremely smart play, luring out the Bronzong, and then Hitmontop sweeping in back. So that was just really well played by Jay Mills. He outsmarted me there overall in one game two. Oh God, Chris, looking back on this is so risky. This is so damn risky. Oh my God. Yeah, that's GG's, because it's just so much energy going to waste. Another move coming off. I'm not even going to bother shielding. I'm going to come in here with Bronzong. He's going to switch. I get off my Bulldoze. I should probably switch immediately, but I don't for some reason. Because I think there's a G-Fisk in back, probably. I think that's probably what I'm thinking. That there's a G-Fisk in back. And the Bronzong. LeBronzong gets to another move. Psyshock. In comes Hitmontop. Somehow it got 2 counters through. I guess I threw 2 licks, so it makes sense. Just unfortunate. And at this point, I know it's over. But I was just trying to lick down, potentially get a move off something and back. So yeah, combination of really well played by Jay Mills. I felt like he played it perfectly to a T. And I also played very poorly in that round and made a lot of really bad 50-50 calls. So I think that's a winnable round for me. I was expecting him to catch here, round 3 against Mighty Max. So that's why I didn't throw right away. It seemed odd that he was staying in. I don't have an obvious answer for Munch. So that's why I'm not switching right away. I'm going to get off another lunge here. And if he doesn't shield this, I should be able to farm down. So I'm like, okay. Sometimes it's best to just not switch. Sometimes you don't need to switch, even when they switch. Now we've got switch advantage still, and some energy. I would be really shocked if he doesn't shield this. And I don't want to get farmed, so I actually aggressively swap into my Whiscash. Because if you look at his team, Whiscash is extremely safe. There's nothing that's like a hard punish for Whiscash. So I felt like it's very safe to switch that. I built up to the Blizzard, tried to bait with Mud Bomb unsuccessfully. So at this point, I'm just going to go straight Mud Bombs. No point in going for Blizzard anymore. And at this point, I also feel like saving a shield for Bronzong is probably my best play. I'm assuming that he's running... Nice. Nice play, Chris. Yeah, Galv really wasn't much use anymore, so I catch Galv just to absorb some damage there. I catch on Galv, I should say. And now there's no point in me throwing unless I get to 2 Psyshocks. I'm 1 confusion away from my second Psyshock. And I sneak one through there, which is absolutely massive. Because he had energy. He was probably close to his second Hydro. I get off this Psyshock. And now the only way I can lose this is if he somehow has Dynamic Punch. But most people, as you know, don't run Dynamic Punch. They run Ice Punch Psychic. Ice Punch doesn't do much. And we take game 1 against Mighty Max. So a couple nice plays that game. Not when he swapped in Munchlax, not getting like panicky and just swapping in something else right away. Just kind of playing it out. And then also making the catch on our Galvantula ended up being kind of nice because the Galvantula might have just ended up being farm for Blastoise. Bronzong versus Munch, not a good lead at all. I swap in Obstagoon. He swaps in Medi. Oh, I think I remember this. Okay. Night Slash. Boost. Let's go. Boost. Also, the reason I swapped in Obstagoon was because I was kind of gambling, thinking that he might not bring Medi. For some reason. I'm not sure why. Going for a big mud shot down here. Oh, wait. Okay. I remember this now. This is this is the lag game, so, or was it? I land the Blizzard. Yeah. So I personally can't rewind the clip right now because it would throw off my whole editing thing. So what ended up happening there was if you rewind it, I'm not making it up. I'm not just trying to make excuses. You'll see I waited my entire switch clock and I tried to click on Bronzong to absorb all the damage from Medicham, right? Ice Punch Psychic. So you can go back a few seconds. You'll see I waited out the switch clock and then I click on Bronzong and the game lags for a brief moment and it actually brings in my Whiscash instead of the Bronzong. So I felt like that game was extremely winnable if it didn't do that because I absorb all the energy on Bronzong, right? Rather than Whiscash, and then Whiscash could potentially sweep in the back against the Ampharos. So we decided to replay. We replay here. I told him what happened. I sent the video dispute to Silph. Silph never really gave me an answer. They said they were waiting to make a decision. But as soon as my opponent, Mighty Max, saw what happened, he was like, "Oh, dude, yeah, like that changes the entire complexion of the game." So he was nice enough to give me a rematch. Even though Silph, I'm not sure Silph was going to give me a rematch, which is a story for another day. I feel like it can be an everybody hates Chris kind of scenario when I send disputes to Silph, which is a rare occurrence, but not trying to cast any aspersions. I know they're just trying to do their best. But yeah, we're in a much better situation here. I changed up my back line a little bit, which is allowed. When you do a rematch, you do same leads and you're allowed to change your back line. I'm deciding what I want to bring in here. I'm going to bring in Whiscash. Because his team also, he doesn't have like a hard answer for Bronzong as well. He's got like some neutral answers like Blastoise and Munchlax is pretty good against it, but like Ampharos, but he doesn't have like a hard response. So here comes the Blastoise. A little bit of mutual lag we saw, going for the Psyshock here, and Psyshock, it's gonna do a nice bit of damage, and these confusions really chunk. I think Mighty Max was a little bit off with his timing there, which benefited me. and I commit to a full farm down. He was so close to that hydro, but committing to that full farm down now puts me in a rather commanding position because my Whiscash has so much energy that he knew he wasn't able to shield that. Yeah, great game. That was pretty crazy. So I was able to win the rematch, and now we're going up against Sir Jams in the next round. Sir Jams, an elite battler, as you see. He's got a very unique team. Charizard, Azumarill, Jirachi, Probo, Zweilous, like 5 Pokemon I'm not sure we've even seen so far. I'll make a nice catch here on Snorlax. It was a Doom Desire, so Galv would have been able to take it, but at the same time, it still would have hurt Galv quite a bit. I'm not sure if Galv could even take a Doom Desire, because Doom Desire is a pretty hard-hitting move, even though it's resisted by the electric typing. I get off a superpower here, which is pretty huge. I'm just worried about what's in back. Oh my god, wait. I think I remember this game. Okay, I'm able to counter down, which is huge before they get to a move. This is insane. It's an Azumarill. Game over, right? I don't have Gunk Shot. Well, I'm going to bluff like I have Gunk Shot. I usually run Gunk Shot. I get the shield, and I get the boost. I get the shield and the boost. Reis getting all the luck in the world. And I even told some of my my teammates, like Panic and them, like I do get pretty lucky in some games in this run. But you know, the boost, it's part of the game. It's in there. It happens. So now these Night Slashes are chunking away. I have to shield, of course. That Jirachi is still alive. And then check this out. I didn't know it had that much energy. So I get Doom Desire. I get taken out. I have to lunge right away to minimize the damage. And now this is going to come down to whether I get to the move first. If the Azu has one bubble, we would get there at the same time. But luckily they didn't have the energy. And Galv somehow finds a way to close. So a pretty crucial, costly mistake there. But, you know, it worked out in the end. And, you know, if I throw that Night Slash right away, I guess I would have just been able to switch to Galv and win. But there's a chance they could, like, overfarm and beat me, so. Whoa. Okay. Lax versus Charizard. Takes 5 Fire Spins to get to every Blast Burn. It's pretty easy to count. I throw my Body Slam right before they get to their Blast Burn to try and force a shield. They don't shield. He throws 6 Fire Spins. This is like Blast Burn range pretty much, so I do shield and it is a Blast Burn, which is great. Poor timing on my part allows him to get a free Fire Spin, so he's currently at his second Blast Burn. And there's really no reason for him to bait here, right? Because, but once again, I felt like I needed a shield for my back Pokemon. So I commit to a huge Mud Shot down here. And if there's no Quilladin, I could be in a decent spot. I switch. In comes Jirachi. I lunge right away. Unfortunately, we were desync, so he gets pretty much a free confusion. And now I'm just really not sure where to expend my shield was my problem here. I think I needed to expend it there. Because now, now I've got to expend a Mud Bomb here to take out Jirachi, and there's no way Whiscash is going to be able to handle Azu at this much of a health disadvantage, so I think I had to shield a Doom Desire to have a chance. Not sure how that would have played out, because I think he could have just shielded Jirachi, right? And then probably confusion me down. Or if he didn't confusion me down, could have just gotten to a Doom Desire before I got to another lunge. But yeah, as you see, not a whole lot I can do at this point. I'm just trying to make my timing as good as possible. Get off these Mud Bombs, but Azumarill, too beefy, too bulky. Playing rough. and taking out Whis Daddy Cash, Whis Cash Money, Cash Money Middleton. But going into a decisive game 3 against Sir Jams in round 4. I think this is round 4, right? Great lead. Can't ask for much of a better lead than this. I'm expecting him to catch at some point, so that's why I hold off on throwing. I am going to shield this, and check this out. Oh, never mind. Okay. Maximizing my timing once again. 4 turn versus 3 turn, so I throw after 2 volt switches. Discharge gets a shield, which surprised me quite a bit. I'm going to shield again. I want switch advantage, because I know there could be a Quilladin in back. I let in a free bubble, which is bad. I'm going to lunge this thing, knowing that he's not going to shield, but it's going to allow me to farm. And now I'm going to get off a lunge right away, because I know the Jirachi might try and throw a move right away. Get off the lunge. Boom. They didn't throw, which allows me to get to another lunge. This is pretty huge. They let it go. And I think I can get to a lunge. So that's why I decided, you saw me spamming Whis, and then I'm like, oh crap, it's a Quilladin. Remember, I have all that energy from Whis earlier. I figure I can go for Blizzard. Worst case, he shields, and then it's Snorlax versus Quilladin, but boom, I take out the Quilladin with the Blizzard. He tried to call the bait, and we get the win there. So literally a game that came down to a 50-50 call. If he shields that Blizzard, I'm honestly not sure if I win or if I lose. But man, crazy games. Into round 5 against Shadow Mimikyu, who is a fellow Wisconsinite. Little bit of mutual lag there. We're both over farming quite a bit. I'm going for discharge. He doesn't shield. I'm deciding whether I want to shield or not, because and I saved the energy and I switched into Lax because I wanted to lure out the Obstagoon if he had the Obstagoon. So a nice little play there from me to toot my own horn a little bit, because if I just stay in, there's a chance there's an Obstagoon in back that just puts in work against the rest of my team. But now I'm feeling pretty good since it looks like there is no Obstagoon in this line. So what could it be? Could be the Gligar maybe. It is the Gligar. And I'm just going to lunge this thing to debuff it. And then I'm going to switch most likely. And there's really no point to build up here. Just go straight for Night Slashes. It is a... Oh, and I get another boost. Oh my god. Reis isn't good. He just gets boosts in tournaments because he's a content creator. Night Slash spam coming in. Not since they have the boost, they really have no choice but to shield. I was able to call the Night Slash. Now I'm going to shield. I can't allow him to catch, so I stopped tapping for a second, which allowed me to react to the swap. Really nice counting by my opponent, but in the end, Obstagoon able to seal the deal. I really don't think the boost mattered at that point. I think I would have won anyway, but you guys can feel free to disagree. Amazing lead. In comes Frost, and I have 3 neutral answers for this, and I'm like, crap, what do I do? Correctly shield a Shadow Ball, which is nice. I was feeling pretty confident right now. Like, okay. Correctly shielded a Shadow Ball. I know there's a Muck. Smooth sailing, right? I think this is probably where I messed up. I don't think there was any reason for me to switch right there. Do I shield this? I do. Now I'm down a shield though. The Muck comes in. And without shields, like, this could be pretty scary. Get off a body slam. Get off a second body slam, which is nice. But this Muck, a lot of energy now, and it has access to Dark Pulse, which is very threatening to my shieldless Bronzong. I do get a Confusion through. And then I'm able to Psyshock this Castform. I tried to snipe the Muck. Didn't work. But I was able to do a lot of damage to this Castform in the process. Now, though, that Muck still has energy. And my Snorlax is so low, I feel like my only chance to win this game is to successfully catch the move from Muck on my Snorlax. He doesn't shield, which shocked me. I was like, what on earth is going on? I feel like I have to catch on Muck here. Or, sorry, on Lax. He sneaks in a Poison Jab. But I'm like, what does he have? Poison Jab, Dark Pulse? I try and catch. No, I didn't even try and catch. I don't know what I'm doing. I had to try. Thunder Punch. And then I lag here. Let me know, do you think that lag made any difference? Because it looked like he might have got 1 or 2 free Poison Jabs, but maybe I'm just being a weenie and it was mutual lag. Okay, I like this lead a lot. Not because this is a dominant matchup for Snorlax, but it's a comfortable matchup for Snorlax. And also, I have 2 Pokemon in the back that aren't great against this thing, and I'm glad that they're avoiding it. I figured with this thing in the lead, if I can save shields for my back Pokemon, I should be in pretty good shape. So that's why I elected not to shield, even though he built up a ton of energy. I'm willing to just take shield advantage here or switch advantage. I'm good with either. I don't want to go down a shield. I want to save shields for my back Pokemon. Another Night Slash comes through. Another Night Slash is going to come through. I'm not going to shield. I'd rather have switch advantage. Or sorry, I'd rather have shield and energy advantage than I would have switch advantage in this scenario. I'm still not going to shield. Oh my gosh. It's another Night Slash. And now I'm just like, what on earth? What on earth is this Gligar running? It didn't bother. I guess it probably wanted to get off damage before I threw a move. That might have been what they were thinking. And now I'm just staying in because if you look at the rest of his team, what else is going to threaten my Galv other than the Gligar? I shielded at the last second. Unfortunately, it was a Thunder Punch. Oh my god. But I'm still able to farm down. I think he was committing to the Dark Pulse and didn't quite get there. And then he makes a mistake here coming with the Gligar. And now this is GG's because Lunge is going to do a lot to Obstagoon. And I still have some health on my own Obstagoon. The reason I threw one more Volt Switch was just because I felt like it gave me a better opportunity to deny him from sneaking in a free counter. And then I sneak in a Volt Switch here. I'm thinking I might live this, but even if I don't live it... Oh, he actually boosted, but yeah, either way, we were good. Apologies for the vacuum in the background. That should be there for a little bit and then fading away. Whiscash versus Frostlass. Very neutral matchup. This is round 6 against Tangent. By the way, if you remember way long ago in this novel of a video, we lost to Jay Mills in the second round. The top 8 finishers from this tournament go on to the Continental Finals. These are the prelims. So we basically had to win out to get a chance to go to the Continental Finals in the last 5 rounds against just a bunch of phenomenal battlers. I'm throwing the Discharge here. I really don't want him to call a Lunge Bait and then get off a move, so I think I made the right call there. Back comes Frost. I did 1 extra because I knew he was going to do extra. So this was going for CMP, and I get CMP. I'm like, yes, let's go. Best case scenario. I got to come in with Whis. I've got 2 Mud Bombs ready to go. I've got my Crobat in the back. I think this is the first appearance Crobat has made. In comes Scrafty. I'm like, let's go. We've got this one. We have got this one in the bag. Crobat making its first appearance in round 6. And it's got the alignment. And looking at his team, Crobat has several good matchups. It's a good matchup against Scrafty, good matchup against Hitmontop. Okay matchup against Muck, Cast, and Rapidash, like fairly neutral matchups. And then obviously Frostlass, not a good matchup, but these Poison Fangs still hurt. They force a shield there, and this second Poison Fang should be enough, even though it's resisted. Because Crobat hits pretty hard with that Shadow Boost. And we get the win against Tangent, game 1. Tangent's one of the best battlers from Canada. Again, apologies for the vacuuming. Aggressive swap into Galvantula. This is why I love Galvantula in a lot of open formats, because if they don't have like a steel ground type, like a G-Fisk, Galv can be extremely safe. So like, oh crap, I got acid sprayed. That's bad. Yeah, Galv, as you see against his team, extremely safe swap. So I'm just like, okay, if I lose lead, I can swap Galv, and we can go from there. This is not ideal. I get acid sprayed. I swap because shields are down. But that Thunder Punch hurts like heck. And this is bad. Oh, and he gets off the Weather Ball. Yeah, this is not looking good. Or is it? Oh my god, what a terrible play. And at this point, I've recognized that I've misplayed this so poorly beyond belief that I just surrender, basically. You saw me stop tapping for a little bit. Yeah, what a horrible misplay. I forget what the third Pokemon was. Was it it was the Frost, right? I think it was the Frost. Yeah, I just played that horribly. Not sure what I was thinking there. Galvantula versus Scrafty, pretty neutral matchup. Honestly, Scrafty is supposed to win this matchup, believe it or not. If Scrafty baits once, it wins. If you don't shield a foul play, you basically lose. So despite resisting the counters, it's not the best matchup. I'm not going to shield this since I've debuffed him once. It is a foul play, which hurts. And I get off this lunge. So I'm either going to get switch advantage or shield advantage. And I'm also aware my Whiscash and Snorlax look very safe against his team once the Scrafty is gone. I know he's probably not going to run two fighters together. So that's why I elected to switch rather than just be Powder Snow down on my Galv, because that could put me in a really terrible spot since Frostlass is so dangerous with energy. In comes the Cast form, getting off a Body Slam, and at this point I feel like I'm in a pretty decent situation, but still a little bit scary because my Galv is like potentially gonna be farmed down. I do get a shield there, which is huge. I get farmed down by the Cast form. And at this point, I'm hoping that he throws the Weather Ball. But knowing he might not, I needed that Volt Switch damage. Just that one Volt Switch of damage I needed to put this thing into Mud Shot and Mud Bomb range. Because otherwise, I was going to need 2 Mud Bombs to take this guy out. I'm going to have to shield something eventually. You saw me debating there. I throw this Mud Bomb right away. I need to pressure a shield here or take it out. I pressure a shield, and at this point, I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. And I get to another Mud Bomb. I feel like he was over farming and trying to catch, knowing that I still had a shield. And I just need to get to one more. And we CMP tie as I believe the Frostlass got to its second Avalanche. So literally a margin of inches against Tangent, as a lot of these battles have been. I played game 1 very well. I played about as poorly as one could play in game 2, in like the second half of that battle, and we get the win. So at this point, we're 5-1 through 6 rounds, and I need to win this round to guarantee myself a spot in the Continental Finals. If you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for the support. It's a long video, and I appreciate all of you. Crobat versus Frostlass, terrible lead. I instantly swap into Obstagoon, hoping that there's no Hitmontop. Unfortunately for me, it looks like there is no Hitmontop. And if you're wondering why my opponent didn't bring Hitmontop, I figured he probably wasn't game one, because if you look at my team, Crobat, Galv, Bronzong, I've got 3 pretty hard answers for it. He swaps in Superior. And I CMP him on the Frenzy Plant, what I assume is going to be a Frenzy Plant. I'm able to live it with enough health. And check this out, I decide not to throw my Night Slash because I want to get energy on my Crobat. And there's nothing from this Superior that's going to really threaten my Crobat. That Frenzy still does a decent amount of damage considering it's double resisted. I'm just going to go for a Poison Fang here. It's still going to hurt. It might nearly KO. Actually, no, that barely did anything. Ninetales in back. And can Whiscash down a shield take out Shadow Ninetales? It's a very dominant matchup for Whiscash, but is it that dominant? We're going to find out. These are the situations where it's so important to have the correct charge move timing. So you see me throwing on 4, counts of 4, which is 8 turns, versus his 3-turn fast move on 3 would be 9. So you see me maximizing the timing. I shield here, and we CMP tied. It was delayed CMP, but we CMP'd, and this will take him out. And now the Frostlass has to throw energy to take me out. I catch. That might seem like BM or like unnecessary, but it was like the safe play, to be honest. It was like the safe play. In case like he somehow lived in Air Slash and got to another one. So that's why I did that. So yeah, a nice catch. It wasn't super necessary. I think I would have had it either way, but I just felt like it was the safest thing to do. Decent lead here against Frostlass. Frostlass needs to sneak in like 2 Powder Snows in order to flip this matchup. And I snuck in a counter, and I don't think he snuck in one. So we're already looking in a pretty solid position. I do shield. He makes a nice catch on his Pelipper here. And he also snuck in a wing attack as well. For some reason I did 1 counter before switching. I'm not sure why, if there was any reasoning to that, or if I just was like, why not? But I switch in Bronzong. I'm going to really try to farm this down if I can. Like a little bit of mutual lag there. I know I can take this Weather Ball. I'm really hoping the next Confusion KOs. Doesn't, but he doesn't get there, which is huge. I'm just gonna spam Psyshock here because I have 2, I believe. Oh no, I don't have 2. So I'm just gonna probably let this thing go down. But now his shields are down. I'm like 3 counters away, 4 counters away from a Night Slash. 4 counters away, and I have to make a decision. What's in back? And I think maybe it could be the Hitmontop, and Whisk is more important. I make the correct call. Sometimes you got to make a tough decision there, and fortunately for me, I made the right decision. I think he made a mistake there by close combating so quickly. I think he should have waited for me to Blizzard and then close combat, because he might have been able to get off 2. But now I can just go for a Mud Bomb. This is still not over, right? My Obstagoon is so low. Does it get to a Night Slash? It does. Survives 1 Powder Snow. And this will be enough to KO. Man, what a crazy game against X the GOAT, who's the #1 ranked battler in Canada. And that, for us, clinches the 6-1 in the Silph North American Continental prelims. I really encourage you guys to check out Silph. I think it's a lot more fun and more strategic than Go Battle League overall. I still love Go Battle League too, but it can get frustrating, you know, when you just get like hard counter after hard counter some days. But in Silph, like, you can see your opponent's team pick 3 to try and avoid that from happening, where this is my safest Pokemon, so even if I get a bad lead, I can try and flip it by doing this. We have one more game against X the Goat, it seems. I might have edited it out just because the video was so long, but this is all one big edited clip that I'm reacting to. And there we go. I did edit out the game 3. I believe he beat me in game 3, just so you know, so I'm not trying to hide from that. X the Goat beat me. And there you see, I tweeted it a while ago. Silph, friend of the channel, Inadequence, King, Butters, lots of great friends in the community. I love this community so much, man. But thank you guys all for watching. One of the longest videos I've ever done. So if you made it this far, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Talking to you, that's right. If you guys enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a like, especially because these Silph videos typically don't do as well as GBL videos view-wise, and they take a lot longer to make. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button if you don't mind. Subscribe if you're new. And I'm not done with Silph this season yet. I lost in the finals, so I won the prelims, tied to win, and then lost in the finals. But because I was ranked top 4 in North America, I get an automatic bid as sort of like a wild card in the Silph World Championship. So if you guys want to see a recap of my prelims, sorry, I keep messing it up. These were the prelims. If you want to see a recap of my Continental finals of the top 8 in North America, let me know in the comments. And then after Worlds are over, I'll certainly make a recap of that. Win or lose, it'll be fun just to compete, and I'll make sure to try my best and try and win it for all you guys if I can. But I mean, going up against the top 20 battlers in the world, it's anybody's game, because the reality of the matter is, at the highest level of Pokemon Go PvP, there is such a small gap between all the top players. It's like almost non-existent, which is a great thing because it means anybody can win on any given day. But it also means, like, no matter how hard you prepare or how hard you study or try your best or how well you're locked in that day making all the right calls, there's still a chance it might not be enough to beat someone like Dunebug. But all that said, thank you guys for watching so much. Long video. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.